Go.
After an enjoyable night out with friends and family, you walk to your front porch with the intention of ending the night. Suddenly you hear a hard shatter of glass being broken. You look to see where the sound is coming from. Your neighbor of 5 years is chasing his wife. He grabs her and throws her across the hard pavement and picks her up and proceeds to go in the house and slams the door. This is not just mere creativity. Acts of domestic violence happens every day in American society. Domestic violence is a real serious issue that has taken many lives due to the lack of awareness that prevents it from happening. This speech will include the actions that need to be taken and the solutions that need to be given in order to stop these tragedies from occurring. The first key factor in contributing to a solution is awareness. According to the FutureWithoutViolence.org, nearly 1 in 4 women have experienced violence by the hands of their spouse or boyfriend. This shows domestic violence is a serious issue that is very common in America. Every 1 in 3 women who is victim of a homicide is murdered by her current or former partner. Women in the ages of 20 to 24 are more likely to experience domestic violence than any other age group. A personal friend of mine by the name of Carly Pierre has been a victim of domestic violence. She was brutally shot and killed by her estranged boyfriend. She took the proper legal steps to prevent further violence, but that did not aid her in her situation. Signs of domestic violence, they vary. However, according to the Huffington Post and SafeHorizon.org, common signs include silent victims. These are the people that are ashamed to tell a friend or family member of their situation. Others are afraid to give up their home and their economic stability. It usually takes 7 attempts before one can successfully leave a violent situation. This is when the victim is in most danger, as violent acts always escalate after the person has left the house. The actions that you need to take is quite simple. The more you know, the more you can do to help stop violence. The most important action that can be taken by you is educating yourself on domestic violence. You can do this by going to domestic violence seminars. They have them everywhere at your local facilities. The month of October is actually Domestic Awareness Month. This is a month where there's free seminars and there's a lot of information out there to make people aware of this situation. You can also call the domestic violence hotline and speak to someone to get help. Talk to someone you can trust and abide in about these serious issues so you can get the proper help that you need to get you out of the situation. You should also be aware of your rights as a woman to be able to understand what your situation is and where you stand. These rights are important to distinguish the ways you should be treated by the opposite sex in various environments, including your work and even in your home. Various measures have been taken by local as well as national government regarding domestic violence. For example, an injunction is for your protection against domestic violence. It's a civil order that provides protection from abuse by a family or a household member. Go to the courthouse and get the necessary forms and fill them out. A judge will hear your petition and determine what steps you need to take further to help you out. Then you will have to prove your case to the judge so they can be able to issue a warrant to get the person taken out the house for your safety. Domestic violence is a real serious issue that affects all humans regardless of age, race, creed, or gender. Domestic violence still continues to affect a high percentage of Americans across the nation. So this issue is only getting worse as time continues to go. Without people like you and me coming together to take a stand against domestic violence. I used to always hear about cases of people getting abused in their relationships And I used to always ask myself, why won't they just go? Why won't they just leave? Until recently, a close friend of mine was murdered due to domestic violence. We as humans always feel like this situation could never happen to me. But the cold reality is that it can happen to you. So if you know anybody, or you are in this own situation, you need to call this number, 1-800-500-1119. This is the domestic violence hotline. And get help to save your life or someone else's life before it's too late.